Within the epilepsy community, there is a saying that goes, if you've met one person with epilepsy, you've met one person with epilepsy. This speaks to the 3.4 million people in the United States and 65 million people worldwide currently living with epilepsy. Each of those individuals is impacted in a different way, and each has their own personal story to tell.
Today, we would like to share our epilepsy story in a way we've never shared it before, by showing you a day in the life of our family. Our daughter Adelaide was diagnosed with infantile spasms at 7 months old. Over the course of her life, Adelaide suffered from other neurodegenerative conditions, but our first goal was always to stop the seizures, a goal that we were never fully able to achieve.
Nearly 4 years ago, we invited a film crew to document a normal day in our household because, as anyone who has epilepsy or acts as a caregiver to a person with epilepsy knows, life goes on. Through seizures, medications, doctor's appointments, tests, and therapies, somehow life goes on.
Epilepsy and all that comes with it becomes a part of everyday life. Though the impacts and circumstances vary widely from person to person and family to family, the daily cycle of worry, challenges, frustration, and hope define the shared epilepsy experience.
So here is our life with epilepsy as it was 4 years ago. A normal day for our family existing in not so normal circumstances. Just a day in the life.
Hello.
Hello.
Letting you in now. Yes, we have visitors this morning. Get back. Good morning. Welcome to the Cervantes house today. Lots of chaos.
Day in the Cervantes household begins at 7 a.m. with Jackson barreling into our room and requesting to have someone come be awake with him. Getting him breakfast, hanging out, some cuddles. By 7:30, it is time to get Adelaide's meds ready, which consists of about 4 or 5 meds.
I have a cabinet where I organize all of her meds and feeding supplies in our kitchen, and it is full to the gills with every med that she is on, every food that she eats, and every syringe, everything that we possibly need to keep her alive. She gets the most number of meds in the morning, although there's 5 times throughout the day that she gets meds. She is entirely G-tube fed, so everything gets drawn up in a syringe and then delivered via G-tube that way. Her meds are constantly changing as to how much she gets of each med. So we actually have a list that we keep on the fridge that I try and keep updated, because I would say it does change pretty much weekly. We're adjusting meds, which is really common for kids with epilepsy and neurological disorders, because you're just constantly trying to figure out the right balance. She started her first anti-epileptic at 7 months. And that was just one drug. That was pretty easy. And then over the course of the last 2.5 years, we just keep adding more and more. So this is several years of drawing up drugs several times a day. Here. So I have drawn up all of Adelaide's morning meds. Right now she's getting 5 meds first thing in the morning, and then I have a water flush to make sure that all of those meds go in. And now we're off to deliver meds. Good morning, sweet angel baby. Hi, Miss Adelaide. Yeah. So overnight, she gets a water feed just to keep her hydrated, because I cannot figure out for the life of me how to get her all of the water that she needs during the day. So this is her feeding pump, for which all of her food and water is delivered. Good morning. Good morning. This is her arm immobilizer, which is supposed to be on her arm to prevent her from sucking her thumb at night because it keeps her awake. But she Houdinis out of it every night. Yeah. So we also see, I see you. Her BiPAP is this mask that is on her, which sort of helps get air into the bottom of her lungs because she has a tendency to not breathe deeply enough. I know. Let's get that off, huh? Without the BiPAP, she tends to get atelectasis and then require more oxygen. With a med change, Adelaide is no longer requiring oxygen 24 hours a day, which is so stinking exciting. So she's actually, hopefully, will maintain her oxygen today, and we won't need to use our concentrator to help deliver oxygen. She is also connected 24 hours a day to a pulse oximeter, which is right here. And this just tells us what her blood oxygen saturation is. That number needs to be in the 90s, and then what her heart rate is. So we kind of keep an eye on her heart rate. Once it starts to get high into the 140s, 150s, 160s, we generally know that a seizure is about to happen or is happening. Are you ready for some meds? Should we give you some meds? So Adelaide's G-tube here. She doesn't take anything by mouth currently, so everything is delivered via her G-tube, and this is just a little extension that attaches to that. Yeah, you ready for your meds? And then we'll get your diaper changed. It's pretty simple. All the meds get delivered in there. It's like the best thing ever. She can't spit them out. I know that she's gotten all of the med that she needs to get. Yeah, do you feel that going in your tummy? I think you do. I think you feel it going in your tummy. Water to wash it down. And then should we change your diaper? Should we change your diaper? What do you think? Yeah. You looking at us? Yeah. Do you want to go cuddle your brother? What do you think? You can go get some cuddles. Yeah. Every day she gets her morning cuddles with her brother. Jackson throws a fit if he doesn't get his cuddle time with his sister. So they get their morning cuddles in, and then the typical family circus of getting a child off to school begins with trying to get Jackson dressed and teeth brushed and out the door to school relatively on time. Always keep the pulse ox near her so that if she does alarm, we can hear it and we know what's going on. And you get your cuddles. Do you need anything, Jackson? You good? Did you eat your breakfast? Yeah. And good morning kisses from Daddy. Alrighty. Around 8:30, our nurse Adrian shows up for the day and sort of is able to step in, and she literally swoops in and takes over.
Good morning, sweet girl. Bye. Good morning, Jackson.
There's a lot more medical supplies than just that one cabinet in the kitchen. This is filled entirely with different items that we have either accumulated or she just needs throughout the day. Additional medical equipment in the back corner here. Most of this on the ground is therapy items, braces, toys, and an abundance of stuffed animals. And this little girl has more clothes, I think, than I do. When you can't buy a little girl toys to play with, you buy her a lot of clothes and books, lots of books. She doesn't have to live in a hospital room, even if all of the hospital equipment is in there. Okay, so she's not neurotypical, but she's still my baby girl, and she deserves to have a baby girl's room and all the pretty things that go along with that, and try and keep her life as normal as possible for her, for us, for her brother. And then I have in the back of the closet sort of an assortment of toys that have never been opened that she may never be able to play with, but for whatever reason, I just can't let go of them yet, in the hopes that maybe someday she will. So I tucked them in the back, but they're there. It kind of sucks. Oh, guys, she's sneezing.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You're safe. It's okay, sweet girl. You're safe. You're safe. Shh, shh, shh. It's okay. Yeah. Shh, 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 shh.
What time did it start, Adrian?
8:40.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah. You're safe. You're safe, sweet girl. Yeah.
I know.
You're safe. Mommy's here. Yeah, it's okay.
Jackson, stay away, please. Just give her some space. I know. I know. I know. I know. It's okay. It's okay. I know, I know.
It's weird. She has like
I know.
longer aftershocks than normal.
It's okay, sweet girl. It's okay, I know, I know.
Jackson, get over here, please. Come on, please.
I know, it's not.
Stop. Stop. That's not. This is new. This is new.
It's okay. It's okay.
Stop. Just stop. No.
It's okay. It's okay. Do you want to get a pepper ready? So this seizure is lasting a little longer than her normal ones. So I've just asked her nurse to get her the first emergency med that we give her, that we try and see if we can get it to stop. Typically her seizures last around 30 to 45 seconds, and she doesn't seem to be coming out of this one this morning. Hey, it's okay. I know. You're safe. You're safe. You okay? Yeah. You're safe. It's okay, sweet girl. It's okay. It's okay. So she's still pulsing. I can feel her body is still, like, if you look in her legs, you can see it's very subtle, but she's like flexing. It looks like she's just flexing, but it's.
And like she couldn't get her arm up. Like that was.
Yeah, that was weird. She was trying to suck her thumb, but she couldn't get it in there. It's okay, sweet girl. Yeah, I mean, it's still going. It's okay, baby. I can get you some medicine. Make it stop. It's okay. Yeah, I mean, she's like, it's very like a wake seizure. It's weird. Yeah, it's okay. You're safe. Yeah, Mommy is here and Daddy is here.
There's Adrian.
Yeah, do you hear Miss Adrian? Yeah. Is it all over now? Are we all done? Yeah. All done. All done. Yeah, I know. It's not fair, huh? It's not fair. We love you. I think it's over, but I think we should still give it to her.
I think so too, because it lasted much longer.
Yeah, well, and I'm worried that it's gonna...
Greater than 3 minutes.
It's gonna cluster, and she'll have another one, so it's just... Well, hold your hands, huh? You're okay. I know, Mama. It's not fair. I love you. Yeah. It's okay. It's
You're
okay.
safe, Adelaide.
There you go. She doesn't have great coordination anyway, but a lot of times after a seizure, we'll see that coordination is further compromised by, she'll have a hard time getting her thumb in her mouth. Are you holding my hand?
Mm-hmm.
Are you holding my hand? I like that. I like that. Mm. We could have seizure control. She could be seizure free. We wouldn't have her alert and awake in order to have that seizure freedom. She'd be on oxygen. She might need a trach. It's just not worth it. I want my daughter. I want her to look at me. I want that eye contact. I want her to have quality of life. It's the age-old question in epilepsy world is finding that balance between seizure control and quality of life. How much quality of life are you willing to give up? How frequent, how bad of the seizures are you willing to live with? Unfortunately, she can't tell us, so we have to determine that for her. I love you. I love you to pieces, I do. I don't love putting her in this chair because it doesn't offer her a ton of support, but because she just had a seizure, we need her to be upright for her feed so she doesn't reflux or spit it up. All right, let's get breakfast. Chacho, are you getting ready to leave?
I am leaving.
Oh, you are leaving. Can I have a goodbye hug? Do you have your lunch and snacks and all that?
Yeah.
Your homework folder? You're saying goodbye to Addie?
His normal is the seizure, so he'll be sitting on the couch and he'll say, is she having a seizure? Or look at her numbers or check out her monitor, and he'll let us know what the numbers are, and he knows how to turn on and off the feeding tube. And I think a typical day could involve a seizure, and it doesn't
register or affect him any, he's just usually we'll just continue watching TV or doing whatever he's doing and might say, I'm here too, Adelaide.
I'm glad it doesn't traumatize him. He takes it more more in stride as part of our normal.
Have a good day at school, Doodlebug.
Okay.
Mwah. Love you. Be a good boy.
Okay.
So Adelaide's diet, everything through the G-tube, so it's all entirely liquid. Adelaide was getting food by mouth up until about a year ago, when she really started to take a pretty steep decline respiratorily, and we just didn't feel like it was safe anymore for us to feed her by mouth. So since then, we have been doing everything through her tube. Somewhat optimistic that maybe we'll be able to try oral feeds again. It really just depends on her strength and how she's breathing, and hopefully we can do some feeding therapy again soon, but we got a little ways to go before she's ready for that. All right, breakfast. So Adelaide right now is pretty sleepy and out of it, which is really normal for after a seizure. They call it being postictal. The seizure just really sort of wipes her out. All right, sweet girl. Get some rest, huh? Get some rest, get some breakfast. So right now I'm just setting the rate on the pump because it'll do it at a continuous rate for us. And she gets different settings at night versus for her daytime feeds. So this breakfast will run over about a period of 45 minutes. And Adelaide will just chill in her chair while she gets her breakfast and sort of sleep off, rest off that that seizure a little bit. The med that we gave her can also make her a little tired too. But hopefully she doesn't have another seizure this morning. A lot of times her seizures will cluster, so we'll get one, and then anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes later, we'll see another one. So we'll be on kind of high alert, but I can look and see on the pulse ox that her heart rate's 129, 130, which is a pretty good rate for her. If it started to get into the 140s, 150s, I'd worry that another seizure was coming, but she looks pretty good right now. Mommy needs more coffee.
In our sort of weird little universe here, seizures are normal. One day we think we're on the clock and time's running out, and then the next week we feel like, oh wow, this is actually changing and going in a positive direction, and then like today we get this seizure that we haven't seen before that's sort of a little bit different than it was 2 days ago.
Was this kind of a little similar to what you saw over the weekend?
No,
No,
I
of
haven't
course.
seen that seizure type.
This one here today?
Yeah, that's
Not good.
because it was so weird. At the end, it was like she was awake and still seizing. It was like normally during the seizure, I feel like she's not there. She kind of blacks out. But I felt like she kept trying to put her thumb in her mouth and then would seize. Yeah, and couldn't do it.
There's just not really any way to zero in on what's going on. It's complicated with somebody like Adelaide because seizures are part of a bigger problem, a genetic chromosome, whatever. Her problem is we can't find it, but epilepsy is probably usually one of the symptoms of that problem. So her problem has seizures and low muscle tone and very, very low cognitive function.
Well, we don't know what's wrong. We don't know what we're treating. We have all of these symptoms. We know that she has epilepsy. We know that she has the low muscle tone, mast cell activation, dysautonomia. We know all of the symptoms, but we don't know the why. We've exhausted commercially available genetic testing. We've moved into research genetic testing. Every doctor and geneticist we talk to tells us that they're almost certain that it's a genetic issue because nothing shows up in her brain MRI. We've done every other blood test under the sun that you can think of. So we just have to wait for science to catch up so that we can know what's causing it, so that maybe we can see if there's a treatment. How do you treat something, the overall cause, the overarching, how do you treat that when you don't even know what it is? All right. Are you ready? She bathes probably about twice a week. It's not like she's super active and getting out there and getting sweaty. So twice a week usually covers it. Maybe as she starts to get a little older, we'll have to do it more frequently. It does take two of us, one person to wash her, but it takes two of us to get her in and out of the tub, especially as she's gotten bigger. It's the same as any other kiddo, except that she requires a special chair in order to be able to take the bath. No peeing on mommy. Oh yeah, you think that's funny? She used to love getting baths. It was one of the times where we would see her laugh and smile. I know. Do you feel the water? She used to respond much more in the bath. I'm hoping maybe we'll start to see some of that again.
In the world of epilepsy, if you can get rid of seizures, then any potential that is in there that's able to function and learn and grow and develop can be,
Accessed.
The terrible thing is seizures will stop that, and seizure medicines will stop that. And so the goal is to get rid of the seizures, but you're also trying to have a child. You're also having the ability to sort of develop. And she was developing. She was, she was always how she is, but the seizures came, the smiles and the learning and grabbing and all these things went away. And you have to say it was because of the seizures and because of the medicine. But there's this other problem as well. So it's all this big sort of mixture, and we don't know what she would be able to do at the end. We don't know if she'd be able to walk. She may never be able to, even without seizures, she may never be able to eat all regular food. But we won't know if that's possible until we can get rid of the seizures with a medicine that doesn't knock her out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, did that hurt? I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's not my dragon. Its tongue is too fuzzy.
Technically, Adelaide is old enough to go to school. We could send her to preschool and CPS would have to take her. We elected to keep Adelaide home for the time being and not send her to school because we can have Adrian at home and Adelaide really requires one-on-one attention. So we've decided to keep her home from now. We could always change that later, but we'll keep her here for the time being.
What's in the tree? The mama bird feeding the baby birds.
Hello! 2 days a week in the afternoon, she has therapies, physical therapy or occupational therapy, PT once a week, and OT once a week. Up until recently, she was requiring oxygen 24 hours a day, and so we had to stop all therapies that needed to be done outside of the house because transferring her to a studio was just too challenging. So right now she just receives those 2 therapies at home, but hopefully we can start adding some back in if she continues to be respiratorily stable.
She's got a little bit of a scoliosis starting, so we're working on some rib cage mobility and elongation. Just her ribs are still mobile, so we want to keep them that way, you know. And then we do some core, lots of core activation and transition. So I have her going from sitting to laying on her stomach to really get her obliques active. And then trying to get her arms away from her body a little bit for play.
You look good, Adelaide.
You look good.
Good job. We have seen incredible benefits from the physical therapy. The hard thing is that the infantile spasms comes back and then we lose it all.
Ideally, right now, we need some sort of treatment, whether it's a surgical, drug, pharmaceutical, that will stop her brain from seizing and allow her body to grow and her brain to grow and develop in whatever form that it can. Whatever its potential is, we want to be able to realize that. And that's our greatest hope for her, is that there is some sort of treatment that will stop her seizures so we can see if she's in there or if we can find her, if she can come out.
No closing. No closing those eyes. We'll keep bouncing, right? Yeah. Good job. Yeah. Girl. There's my girl.
And there's just always the hope that, we have to cling to that hope that maybe someday it gets a little better.